faith that this is God. Right? And as I've said, my faith, what I choose to believe in a God that has ordained and guided all things. I believe in a God that cares about the minutiae and details of my life, but I also believe in a God that if He doesn't heal me, I move on. I keep going. Maybe God didn't want to heal me. My healing is not going to be conditional upon, my faith is not going to be conditional upon my healing. My faith is accepting God's will be done. Because if the Son of God says, thy will be done, He says, now if it's possible, God, I appreciate you hook a brother up and take this thing off my back. Y'all don't think He prayed that? He prayed that. He said, God, if it's possible, take this cup from me. He prayed so hard for it that He bled tears. Think about that thing. He didn't want to do it. But yet, He had what? Thy will be done. So now you've got to have faith that this is the God, but your faith has to be solid. In other words, you can't have a faith that's bounding here. I need a guy here to try to mix it. Aleister Crowley said it once. He says, you can't have karma and have Christianity. You got to choose one or the other. Because karma, we always want to unleash karma upon our enemies, don't we? Karma is so antagonistic to the Christian perspective. Because as Christians, we can't have karma. Because karma, we would understand the concept of karma if we said karma is, as you sow, you shall reap. So if that's the case, I have sown unforgiveness and I've sown bitterness towards somebody else and I've sown God's wrath on somebody else. Like I told you that one time. I wanted to ground Bailey for 14 years. I was mad at her. She was a grown adult. She was probably 8. And I wanted to ground her. And God said, how long will you ground you? Oh. For when you're disobedient, you don't mind me. Okay, shut up. So, add to faith what? No. Virtue. Oh my gosh. You went there, didn't you? What is virtue? It's integrity. It's trustworthiness. It's being able to be trusted with a thing. Can God give you a vision? Can God give you a job? And your virtue says, I will handle this job. I will do this job. I will do this thing. God gave you a responsibility. You look down, you see something. Being virtuous is putting your shopping cart back in the spots. Because that is a personal battle of mine, let's be honest. But the thing is that He says, do this thing because people are watching your virtue. They're watching your integrity. They're watching your honor. They're watching your actions. And if you have to, speak. So it tells you your virtue, AJ. So now we got diligence. You've got to do it every day. Take up your cross daily. You've got to have faith of what you're doing. But if you don't believe in what you're doing, it's not going to drive your virtue. So from virtue, what? Knowledge. I don't like it when we talk about them Hebrew words. I don't like it when I want to be preached to. You know why you want to be preached to? Because you've been preached to all of your life. You believe that if you take this verbal scounding, in other words, you're just being verbally accosted, that you're being purified by it. Well, I went to church today. Boy, he really preached at me. So what did you do about it? Getting preached at, Chris, is one thing, but life-changing is quite another. Knowledge, though, changes everything. Amber was talking about where, was it, the hyssop. And it's really funny because she's talking about hyssop, and I would love her to do a class one day about hyssop. The purposes, why God chose to use certain things. There's in Revelation 4, it talks about the 4 demons that were bound in the river Euphrates. There's 4 angels, fallen angels, who are bound in the river Euphrates. What's really interesting, the river Euphrates represents the dividing line between chaos and good. There's a dividing line between chaos and good. Right? We don't know. People fail for the lack of vision. In other words, they fail for the lack of understanding. We don't know what it is that God expects us because we've not added knowledge. We don't know what God wants because we don't really want to know. Because if we really knew, now comes accountability, see? Now comes accountability. But as long as you don't know, I didn't know that. Think about it. Every time you get in trouble, what's your first thing you say?
Ignorance is a bliss.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. One of my favorite stories, I always love Artie. Artie has this canned response. This is what he says. Yeah, cuz I know there's a burn ban on. I just tell him, he says that my wife was supposed to file for the burn ban.
You were going to jail for
He blames everything on Mom.
I have heard that 100 times. I always laugh at it because see, every time I build a fire, I get the cop called on me. So,
it. He does.
so now, add to your knowledge what?
Don't ever do that.
Self-control.
Huh? What was the word?
Self-control.
Is self-control or temperance. So, temperance. Temperance. Artie, you're in verse 6 now. Temperance, self-control, temperance. Why is it important? I have this problem. I know none of y'all have this problem. I faced my problem this morning. My wife says, I want something. She wants something. Don, instantly, I want to please my wife. And she had a thing. You know what I had within 5 minutes? In my shopping cart, I had exactly what she wanted. And because, again, I am running with that idea. And I stop and I go, that's a lot of money to spend for that right there. Wait. Wait. Just wait. So I'm learning to wait at least 24 hours on the decision to buy something. That is a marked improvement because I know some of y'all,
You're doing good.
as soon as you see something or get an idea, what do? We done bought it, David, with no idea. Boom, I gotta have it. Well, we go over there and we're taking out that closet, and how many clothes was in that closet with tags still on them? Never worn. I seen a bunch was in there. People buy this stuff on impulse. On impulse. Temperance is being able to control yourself, not being controlled by something else. You have to be in charge. The problem with temperance is accountability. It's your decision to be in charge. If you're out and you've lost control, whatever you're doing. Knew a guy one time. I know none of y'all do it, but I told him not to do something, and he actually partook a little bit hard. And next thing I know, he's over sitting on the base amp going. And I said, I told you. Temperance. Control yourself. If you want to mouth at somebody, control your mouth. You want to scream at somebody, temperance. So you have to have temperance. You got to understand, because why do you got to have knowledge before temperance? Because you understand how many times I remember running through the house because I lost control of myself, and I ran through the house, and I'm running through the house going to lock my sisters out the front door. And as soon as I ran through there, I caught my finger on the door, and it actually broke this finger all the way over. After I did this, I was fully aware of the repercussions. How am I going to tell Mama why I broke my finger? Well, I was going to lock Debbie out. Why was you locking Debbie outside? Because we was in a fight. Why was y'all in a fight? I knew instantly everything. But if you have knowledge before you go into anything, and all of a sudden, God, give me the knowledge, oh, I know this is going, it's like, once you get the knowledge of you punch a wall. My favorite thing, I watched somebody punch a wall, so I bet that hurt, didn't it? What did that accomplish? I remember one time my sisters made me mad. So what did I do? I decided I'm going to punch her through a window. That worked out well. Because not only did I break the window, I got glass in my hands. Not only did I get glass in my hands, my sister got cut, but it was my mama's window, her bedroom. How well received do you think that was? It was. If Psycho Annie was anything, she had a temper. All right. So, add to your temperance what?
Wisdom.
Read it. Add to verse 6. Add to temperance. Oh my gosh. Patience. Oh. I will tell you. Never, ever, ever, ever ask God two things. You can ask God anything in the world. Do not ask God to teach you how to love people. He's going to put you around idiots. Do not ever ask God for patience. Don't ask God for patience. Because you ask God for patience, how is God going to teach you patience? He's going to put you in a storm. Surrounded by idiots. Patience is being able to go, those who wait upon the Lord. We want instantaneous God. We want instantaneous answers. He may not give us the answer, AJ, for years. May not ever give the answer. In time, all things will come. Patience. Add to your patience what? Isn't that funny that way down this list, and that struck me this morning, that's kind of way on the bottom of the list, ain't it? Godliness. Wouldn't you think that one of the first things that it says, you got to be godly?
But then you're going to ask how. How do you be godly?
Well, the problem is of being godliness, we tend to think ourselves as God.
Yeah, but nobody knows how to be godly except by going through with
And then we kind of go,
You
oh,
flip-flop, and you're going to be like, how?
yeah.
Now I know how to be godly. But
So-
you just say be godly first. I'm going to ask you, how am I going to do that? And then we're going to go through all that.
Yeah. But I find it funny that it's way down here on the bottom.
And why is it? Here's a good number. Numbers. Number 7.
Well, theoretically, you can't go by that, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Well, and no reason because you are exactly right, and it's good. The thing is, I'm very proud of you, Artie, that you're associating numbers because 7 means completion. And see, it's good. We need an understanding of numbers. We need to understand these things. And so, therefore, Artie has moved up to where? Knowledge, but also Artie has faith that means something. You see this? Now, after godliness, what do we got? Brotherly kindness. That's it. I had an epiphany one day, as I always do. In the Masonic realm, we called everyone brothers. You know why we call them brothers? It dawned on me. We called them brothers because a friend wouldn't put up with that crap. A brother, you're stuck with them. See my point? You're stuck with your brothers. You can't choose. But back in the old days, a brotherly kindness meant that you shared the womb with this person. In other words, you are family. I was talking to Artie, and I was telling Amber about it last night. I was talking about how Cletus has these people coming over in his yard camping for how long?
3 days of family.
3 days of family. No. No. I'm not caring about 3 minutes. I gotta go. What do you do for 3 days, Dory? In the backyard. What do you do for 3 days with your family? I'm going to swim and stuff. Okay, we all swim, we cook, okay. Y'all, 30 minutes. What time y'all leave?
Well, in the old days, I would stay drunk for 3 days.
All right.
I go with that one too. But again, the point being is that you have this brotherly kindness where you actually do unto them as a brother does. You take care of each other. Even kindness is down here. So we go from kindness to what? After that,
It's charity.